to YouTube Nanny. Today is a very special day. It's VE Day. We're celebrating 75 years of victory for Europe. And to celebrate that, I've made myself a couple of little flags. Yay! Right, so to celebrate VE Day, everyone's going to be having a beautiful afternoon tea in their front gardens today. So let's get cracking. We're going to be baking scones. There's nothing more English than a delicious fruity scone on your afternoon tea. Ingredients today. We'll be using, I'm doubling my mixture, so you can halve your mixture, which is 200 grams of self-raising flour. But I've got 400 grams of self-raising flour here. I have 50 grams of sugar. I have 100 grams of butter or margarine. We're going to have a pinch of salt. We've got 2 egg yolks, not the whites, just the yolks, because that makes them even richer. And we have 300 millilitres of milk. But I'd just like to say, put your milk in slowly. So if you're going to halve those mixtures, you need 200, 25, 50, 1 egg yolk and 150 millilitres of milk with a pinch of salt. Okay, that's your ingredients for today. What's the first thing we need to do when we're doing baking? You've got it. Put your hair up, put your apron on and wash your hands. Right, I've already washed my hands, but I like to do it, so I like to show you we need to get right in all the grooves because we're going to be doing some rubbing in today. Make sure you've got beautifully sparkly, workly hands. Oh, that's lovely. Right, you can count to 20, or if you're really clever, you can sing happy birthday. Right, once you've done that, dry your hands off. Make sure you do them good and proper, and here we go. So we're making scones. We've got the oven on 180 centigrade, and we've also got a greaseproof paper on a baking tray for you here ready. Okay, here we go. Right, we've got 400 grams of flour goes in first. Then we're going to put 100 grams of butter. I'm using stock today because it's dairy free. Now all we do is we need to get our hands in there and do the rubbing in method. Have you got your hands ready? And in they go. All you have to do is break up all those bits of margarine. And you need to very gently rub them in. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm squeezing the butter. And what I want to do is I want to mix that margarine into the flour. It's called a rubbing in method. Take your time. If I'm going too fast, don't forget you can pause me. And you just rub it in, and what it needs to look like is fine breadcrumbs. There we go. Keep rubbing in. Right, when you've done that, let's have a look. Can you see? Looks like breadcrumbs, doesn't it? So the next thing we need to do, we're going to put a pinch of salt in. Just a little pinch. In it goes. That's 1, because I'm doubling mine. I'm going to put 2 lots in. There we go. And the next thing is the sugar. In with the sugar. I'm just going to stir that in. Make sure it's all mixed in properly. So we've got self-raising flour in there. We've got our margarine or butter, we've got our salt and our sugar. Okay, the next thing I'm going to put in, I haven't weighed these, just use your own judgment. If you don't like it too fruity, don't put too many in. But if you like fruity ones, like me, put plenty in. I'm going to mix them in now. Okay, that's looking lovely. Next thing that goes in is your 2 egg yolks. The egg yolks make it richer. It makes for a beautiful, rich scone. In they go. Last of all, I'm using coconut milk, but you use whatever milk is good for you. The reason I'm using coconut milk is because it's dairy free. So this batch of scones is going to be a dairy-free batch, but you use full fat milk or semi-skim, whatever you want to use, just use it. But I tend to put this in slowly because when you double the mixture, it just seems that the mixture is a bit wetter than usual. So start by putting it in slowly, mixing in all your ingredients. Slowly stir it round with the spoon to start with to get it all going. And bit by bit, you don't want it to be too wet, it'll be too sticky. If you do make it too sticky, don't worry, just add a little bit more flour. So when you're kneading it, you can add a bit more flour. I'll show you how to knead in a minute. Right, that's coming together really well, so I'm going to have to start putting my hand in a minute. Put a tiny bit more there. Now, can you see? Right, I'm going to use my left hand. Keep one hand clean. There, can you see? I didn't use all that milk. Right, when you've put all that together, all you need to do is get a handful of your flour and sprinkle it on your workboard or your worktop. Just grab hold of your dough, don't need that anymore, and just very gently kneading. So how to knead? We're just going to use both our hands and very gently roll it back and forth, just like that. Make sure you've got plenty of flour on your work surface and just very, very gently, don't overwork it. You just want to pull it into itself. So you're pulling it forward and pushing it into itself. Okay, right, so don't overwork it. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to make sure we've got plenty of flour. We're going to roll it out, so let's get it into a nice ball. Now if you want to test it to see if it's ready, if you push your finger in and you see it springs back quite quickly, you know it's ready. Right, let's get that into a nice ball again. Let's get our rolling. And then very gently, don't press too hard. There we go. So I've got nice deep scones. Now, very gently, that's all I'm going to do to that. I've got these, I've got 3 different sizes here. I'm going to use the large one. I do like a large scone. There we go, very gently. There we go. Can you see the size and the depth that I've done? Right, keep going until you've used all your dough up. Okay, there's another one. And just keep going until you've used all your dough. Okay, once you've got all your scones on your baking sheet, there we go, look how I've lined them up. Oh, make sure they don't drop. I've lined them up, little space in between them. Now we need to egg wash them. Egg wash is really simple. We're just going to put a whole egg into the little jug, and I'm just going to use a fork. Just give it a little beat up. Then we're going to use a pastry brush. So there's quite a few different pastry brushes on the market. I've got these 3, okay? 3 different types. I prefer this one, traditional one. Very, very carefully, we're just going to dip our pastry brush into our mixture and we're just going to paint it all over our scones. There we go. And the reason we do this is because it makes a really shiny finish once they're baked. Just keep going. And if you tell me how many scones you managed to get out of your mixture. So I doubled my mixture because I like great big fat scones. And I've made 9. Go, just keep painting this beautiful egg wash. Oops, a bit too much on that bit. all over your scones. Then we're going to bake them. I like to bake them in the middle of the oven on 180. But in my recipe book it says 220 for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'll bake them slightly slower and probably for about 15 minutes with mine. And that's it. Just pop them in the oven, 10 to 12 minutes on 220, or if like me you want to do 180, do it for at least 15 minutes. Welcome back. Right, let's have a look to see if our scones are ready. Don't forget, use a grown-up, ask a grown-up, or use your oven gloves. It's very hot in the oven. I'm very pleased with them. Can you see? How lovely. Okay, I'm just going to leave them to cool down and then I'm going to decorate them. Right, they're all done. Let's have a little look at them. Come and have a look. Look at those, beautiful. All ready for our delicious VE day. That's Victory for Europe. Picnic in our front garden. Or should I say afternoon tea. There we go. And while you're waiting for that, you could have a little read of one of my books. You can find all of those books on YouTube or you can buy them on Amazon. Wonderful day. Don't forget, you need to subscribe, share and like. Come back soon. Bye for now. Mwah. Enjoy your day today.